Thank you all for being here this afternoon. The New York State Broadcasters Association, as you know, represents stations across the entire state. And I'm delighted to be here in Long Island to present the Serving New York Awards to the stations that uniquely serve Long Island. As you know, local broadcasting, both radio and television, is an important component in all of our communities. And serving the public is, in many respects, unique to broadcasting. It's in our DNA. It has been part of the charter, part of the foundations of this industry since it began. And it is just so wonderful that every year, the amount of time and effort that all of you take to put those efforts into serving your local communities, it's just astounding and certainly deserves to be recognized and awarded. So I'm delighted to have with us today a number of just terrific programs that have been used to help the community, specifically on Long Island. And the first station I'd like to recognize is WBAB, Cox Radio. And in particular for their Long Island Police Tug of War, which helps the Wounded Warrior Project. We have with us today Mr. John Shea, Chris Lloyd, and Jason Steinberg. And essentially what BAB does, it takes a multi-platform approach to create awareness for the Wounded Warrior Project. It begins by saturating on air with a number of PSAs and programming and working with social media channels as well. But it also focuses and hosts the 6th annual Long Island Police Tug of War Championship, which gives Long Island law enforcement that competitive edge while at the same time raising awareness and funds for the Wounded Warrior Project. This year, the event raised over $26,000 for the project, and I'm just delighted to have John and Chris and Jason here to receive their Serving New York Award for WBAB's efforts. Chris?
We are really proud to be able to help the Wounded Warrior Project. Not only do we bring awareness to the Wounded Warrior Project, but we also create a really unique event that Long Islanders can come out to Jones Beach and watch the NYSBA and the Suffolk Police and the corrections officers all compete. And what a great feeling it is when we're all there competing and we're helping bring awareness to this cause and also helping foster a little competition between them. So thank you very much for this award. We'll proudly display this at the station, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Congratulations. I'd also like to recognize Cox Broadcasting's WBLI and focusing attention on an important public service issue that can affect, and certainly does affect us all, and that is texting. And I'm delighted to have with us today Mr. Rocco Panetta from the Texting Awareness Foundation. And what the station did, and this is just wonderful, it's unique, they had the great kite flight to promote and raise awareness regarding the problems with texting while driving. And the event was promoted on air and online and through social media. And I believe on Jones Beach on June 8th, Long Islanders flew kites with a big red sign that said stop. And I think that that's probably for all of us just one of the most significant events that we could have, because it clearly is one of the more dangerous things that we can do. So for raising awareness on a critical issue and helping us out, I'd like to welcome Mr. Rocco Panetta, Nancy Cambino, and Jeremy Rice and John Shea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. We really appreciate you guys recognizing us. And you know, I would like to present Rocco because this is really his baby, and I want him to explain to you guys how important it is, the work that he's doing, and you know, us as the radio station to bring awareness, especially to the kids, you know, the teens driving. It's so important. So, Rocco, please explain to them what exactly the foundation does.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to thank Cox Media and WBLI for working with us and supporting us. Texting is the #1 killer of teens in America today. More than disease, more than drugs, more than drinking. And 11 kids will die every single day from texting and driving. And working with BLI, and as well as with BAB as well, with Cox Media, we've had a great impact here on Long Island. And I like to say we've saved many lives by doing a Remind You campaign, keeping the public informed every day, not to text and drive. And it's a great opportunity to thank them for all their support over the years. Thank you.
Rocco. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. And Rocco, as a parent, on behalf of my 3 sons, and I've sat down and had those conversations with them a lot, that is just a wonderful and terrific program that you're running. Thank you very much. You know, one of the great parts about broadcasting is that it's local. And focusing on the local community, as I said, is our heart and soul. And I'd like to recognize WVVH-TV for their work with the All for the East End, or AFTE, program. Now, AFTE is a nonprofit organization. It's a 501c3, whose primary purpose is to raise awareness of other nonprofits that serve Long Island, particularly on the East End. And what the station has done is worked and showcased AFTE and its efforts. It has produced PSAs for AFTE, and on a number of occasions has worked to help the organization raise significant funds in order to help their efforts. So for working very closely with an organization that is devoted to helping promote nonprofits in Long Island, and particularly in the East End of Long Island, I'd like to thank Ernie Schmizzi, Greg Schmizzi, and Francine Wolf Schmizzi for being here today, and I would like to award you with the Serving New York Award.
You know, on the eastern end of Long Island, we have over 1,000 not-for-profits. And just like all of our fellow broadcasters in the room, it's hard. You want to be able to give to each and every one. And this great organization came about called AFTE, which represents a good number of these not-for-profits. So we were able to, by placing our resources with this group and helping promote this group, reach, well, hundreds of not-for-profits that benefit directly from AFTE. We had a big concert, and the concert featured Nile Rodgers. The radio people in the room will know a guy named Avicii, and Adam Lambert, who was, I guess, on one of those American Idol shows. And it was a sellout, and it was successful, and we did our job by promoting it. And thank you again to the New York State broadcasters and our fellow broadcasters in this room. We're very proud to be part of this organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Ernie, thank you so much for your focus, particularly on Long Island and the eastern end of Long Island. WKJY, WHLI, Connoisseur Broadcasting is widely recognized throughout Long Island for not only its stations but its community efforts. Throughout the year, the Connoisseur Broadcasting stations have done a number of things in the community. They have focused on the Heart Healthy Life program, which was sponsored by the American Heart Association, which focuses on preventative measures to help prevent heart disease. They have also worked with the Extravaganza community event, which was to celebrate the Spring and Easter partnership with the town of Hempstead to help focus on issues, and in particular regarding kid safety. The event helped fingerprint kids and teach them about dangers out there. They also have worked with Radio for a Cure, which beginning in September created a number of public service announcements and a media campaign to help promote breast health and cancer. And they have also done a lot of work with the Walk for Autism Speaks. So for all the efforts, I would like to thank Connoisseur Broadcasting for their efforts in focusing on these important issues and working with these important public interest groups in Long Island. And I'm delighted to have with us today Ms. Alyssa Markey.
I know for us at Connoisseur Media, it's not about have to with our community service, it's about a want to. We try to create the awareness, which is the first step in giving. So thank you.
As I said, this focus here in our luncheon today is a unique focus, particularly on Long Island. And for those of you in the room who have worked so hard over the years to promote the public interest in your communities, on behalf of the New York State broadcasters, I want to thank you. But I would be remiss in just not in remembering where we were last year. With Superstorm Sandy, most of Long Island was out. You had a significant death toll in New York City and on Long Island. And it was the local broadcasters that kept the information lifeline alive. Just to give you a sense of this, radio listenership on the night of Superstorm Sandy in Manhattan increased by 70%. On Staten Island, it increased about 40%. But in Nassau County and Suffolk County, listenership to radio increased 250%. All other mass medium forms of communication were out. Your cell phone was out, your power was out, but it was radio and your over-the-air television broadcasting that remained on the air serving this community. And for all those efforts, both for that night, in the aftermath of the storm, and also for everything that you do throughout the year, it is a privilege and honor to have you here today. And I want to thank you for your efforts and keep up the good work. And thank you all very, very much.